Hello, Americans and other friends, subscribers around the world. Back again, man. What the heck? I went down to the creek bottom, and it took me a 5-gallon bucket, went down, lit fire, and all this. Was going to do this video, you know, you visualize something. It did not turn out like I wanted. And the creek was running yeah, it was so loud and stuff, so ended up coming back in here and actually going to do a little different, or go over some stuff that really haven't really,
every
few little things we'll talk about it or whatever, but for some reason, I don't even know why, but I woke up about 4:30 this morning and I was thinking about being self-reliant and our, you know, being prepared and all this stuff. Why the heck? I don't know if I was dreaming. I don't know if I fell asleep with the earplug in my ear, man, and it had me dreaming about weird stuff or whatever. So we're going to actually touch on self-reliant, shit hits the fan, you know, preppers, whatever you want to call it. We're going to kind of touch on that. But the one thing that I do want to say is we figured out that last video when I had to cut it short is we got on there and we Googled it, and this camera actually has a flaw, I guess, or
yeah, and I think it's not so much the camera as it is the HD writer that we use to edit the videos. Okay. When it goes to...
That might be what Leaper... You'll have to read his...
Okay.
I don't think he read his, but he was telling me to check out something that
the
might shorten up our... Yeah, and he was actually... You'll have to look at that. Leaper was doing that, so we'll check that out. Anyway, so we got a timer set, so the timer's going to set. Then we got to restart our camera, because if we did... Because we went 22 minutes into that video, and then it cut off, which it didn't cut off like when we were filming, so we didn't even know it did it, but then it will not let you join the two together. Right. So I was going to end up doing, that dog's going to knock that camera over. I was going to end up doing two different...
part one, part two.
Part one, part two, but there was only 3 minutes left, so that's why I ended up cutting that off. Yeah. But anyway, so let's touch... Man, I did this. Kitty got up this morning, man, and I'm out there going...
He says, I need a notebook. And I'm like, okay, here you go. And 3 pages later, I'm like...
well, I'm just going over, man.
Being prepared.
And then I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't watching nothing. I don't know.
Yeah,
dude, man. Did you see him hit that thing a couple times?
I did.
Yeah, man.
So
I almost was going to beat him.
I think that when you wake up, I was just saying, when you wake up and you're thinking about preparedness, it is time to maybe go make a list for yourself.
Yeah, make it go, you know, and just going over. Yeah. And basically, I want to share, you know, this is our opinion. Everybody has their own thing, man. This is, you know, you got your way. This is our way.
Yes.
And this is the way that we look at it. You know, whether it be right or wrong, it's still our way. It's just how, you know, what we do. So I'm just going to go run down these notes. Miss Kitty, it was funny because I was going to go down in there, and she kept on telling me things, or, you know, saying different things and stuff that was like, well, heck, man, we might as well just do it because Miss Kitty has an opinion. Can you believe that?
Don't always share it, but yes.
Oh, she's got an opinion, all right. She shares it with me all the time. Just hit my funny bone. It wasn't very funny. All right, so I guess I'm just going to kind of run down this, and if
I have something to say, I'll put my 2 cents in. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so one of the things for us, and this just happened a couple weeks ago, is we ended up being snowed in here for 4 days. We never even, and I mean, we could have got, we could have, you know, the beast, we could have got out of here. I mean, it wasn't, we were like snowed in, you know, and oh, it's the end of the days.
Yeah,
or,
there's
you know,
no drama involved.
There was no, I mean, so I could, but the thing is they're like, sweet. Because we have at all times, you know, and actually it used to be behind here because people are always saying, hey man, you ate a box of macaroni and cheese.
You only have 4 cans of toothpaste left.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah. But anyway, you know, that's the one thing about your canned foods. You want to make sure they don't freeze. And we've got them all over here. Well, we got milk crates full of them. But anyway, when we were in here for 4 days, it was not even, it wasn't even a concern at all. You know, it just wasn't, man. We always on hand have at least 30 days. After 30 days is when we'd start having to get us some quail down in the, you know, as far as meat and stuff. And I think right now we'd probably be even longer than that as far as the meat stuff, you know. But 30 days, which, you know, people for emergencies say, you know, just store, what, a week or something is what most of the... I don't really watch that
It really depends.
stuff.
There's different layers of being prepared. I mean, are you trying to be prepared for a 3-day outage? Are you trying to be prepared for...
or end of days.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's different layers of being prepared, and I think that one of our methods is to be able to hunt, to not necessarily store everything we need, but know
to hunt
how
and fish
to
everything. I can walk, right. You know,
right.
but that's not still saying that we don't have meat and everything stocked up. And we were hoping, you know, which we didn't end up getting an elk because then we would have had that. But then, say the power goes out, and say it goes out forever. You know, that's your main thing. Obviously, is you need food, but water, man. Water is
huge.
At the utmost important. During the winter time, I mean, you could go out right now. We could go out and melt snow. You know, we got a creek down here that we can boil the water. Something that we do, because we use jugs, you know, in here I haul my water. I've shown that before and stuff. You know, the cabin here is not, we don't have running water in here. And the one thing we do is we don't use a ton of jugs, but we do in the off season like this when I can't make sun tea or whatever. Is I buy gallons of tea, and if it's a screw top, I don't use milk jugs, but if it's a screw top gallon jug from juices or tea, you know, or their quality, these ones we got, which I could grab one, they're nice. I mean, or Arizona tea jugs and stuff. And what we do with those is we use a few, I think a half dozen or something in here, you know, for just whatever, cooking water and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cleaning.
But we fill those up 3/4. I actually just filled the half dozen of them up there, and we throw them up under, and we stash them different places. And, you know, yeah, they're going to freeze, and that's why I only fill them up 3/4. And then come springtime, we'll do a clean, and we'll clean them, and we just always keep, you know, water, gallon jugs of water, especially drinking water. You know, it's drinkable. That's, you know, the whole thing. With the creek and everything, we got, you know, it's a plus. And then we have our well, and say everything went to crap, man, the crap hit the fan and everything. Right now, we would be, as far as power, you know, say the power and everything went out, my pump, you know, because I got 2 well heads, but I could go over there and pop the one that's already got the thing ran down there, and it would take me a little bit of time, but in
by the time
couple of hours.
By the time we ran out of water, I mean, you.
Oh yeah, by the time that I ran out of water, I would have, because I have a hand pump out there, and eventually I'm going to have one out on the other wellhead with a pump house over it. That's just all the time. That's a hand pump. You know, because we got 2 wellheads, so we might as well. So that kind of touches on that. Something else to, and this is stuff. The stuff that I'm talking about is stuff that we just do. We've lived it for, you know, I mean, we lived in a motorhome. We did, even when we were in the mouse house. I mean, we have always, I would go around saying, man, I'm a prepper, you know, but we've always been self-reliant, self-sufficient, you know, and taking care, you know, making sure that everything is in line to take care of us and our children. Holy crap. Dry spot. But, woo, cha-ching, man. That's another way I take care of myself. But we always, something that we do around here, or I try to. Right now, I think I just filled the Ford. But I keep all the fuel tanks in our vehicles and all our rigs full of fuel. I keep, you know, gas cans full around here. We always keep, as far as fuel on hand, you know, and the one thing, and I buy ethanol free because ethanol fuel gels up after a certain amount of time. It's bad in your rigs, everything. Man, I am not a, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm a moonshine fan, but I'm not an ethanol. That stuff was made to drink, not to pour into gas.
Well, and not just drink, but that brings up a really good item to keep on hand is alcohol, and not necessarily for consumption, but for
tinctures and
cleaning items, you know, sterilizing things and
everything. And we keep, and that's, man, you go to the dollar store and they have them 2 for a. You know, 2 for $1, or even rubbing alcohol, which is not, you know, still difference. But we like to pick up. We actually need to pick one up. We're not a huge fan. You know, $1.90 for your tinctures is great because it pulls all the stuff. You just end up having to water it down so much that it's kind of this. But we do need to get us another jug of $1.90 to, because you can't even buy that stuff in Idaho. Yeah. I have to go over to Oregon. Probably shouldn't be talking about that.
No,
ain't supposed to be bootlegging it across the border, you dumb hillbilly. I mean, we just use 90 proof over here in Idaho. So, man, and then your propane tanks, man. Always keep, man, always, you know, I mean, if you have use for propane, you know, if you're heating or whatever, and obviously keep your wood stocked up. But,
cooking.
If you're using propane or Coleman fuel, white fuel, you know, you got to make sure you got that. Our propane tanks, we have, and I've got ones on trailers that have propane, you know, try to keep them all full. We rotate here because we actually have two that we, you know, because we use one in the Vagabond for, when we're kicking back in there at night. We have a Mr. Heater, Buddy, in there. So always keep your propane, like I said, keep fueling your rigs and in your gas cans and all that stuff. Just going back over. All right. Well, I guess we're going to reset this. We're going to be doing that every 12 minutes, man, because that was very... She was so proud of me, though, man. I just got up.
You got up and walked away.
I came back. Oh, it was so I could not get those... Man, I clipped them and tried to get them together. Anyway. So, something that I've raised my kids, I've talked about it in previous videos. Like I said, that we've always been, you know, self-reliant, take care of yourself, and, you know, make sure that you're set up if something crazy in the world. And something I've raised my kids, and every one of them has, and we have multiples of, is travel trailers, man. A travel trailer, a camper, even the van would be, you know, something if you didn't, just so if something happened crazy, man, I can either hook onto one of them trailers and get the heck out of here, or jump in my van, or if somebody else has got, you know, I mean, whatever happens.
Because shelter is very important.
Exactly. Yeah, but then you keep your propane tanks full, and, you know, I got a little one in my van that's full, you know, I got another little Mr. Buddy or whatever in there, and, you know, just basically a place to go, because we've got all our supplies and stuff here, but we do have a plan, and we'll kind of get into that after a bit here, is, you know, if it was turmoil and craziness and, you know, flatlanders are invading, you know, and all that, we do have a couple places to go from here to different places deeper. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. As far as ammo and firearms, guns and all that, you know, I don't actually, yeah, I was going to do it, but, you know, I have people ask me all the time, I think it's my question thing was, how many guns do you have, man? Do you, but I wrote that down because I did it. Do you have a lot of guns, man? I had somebody ask me, and I was like, dude, look at me. Do I look like somebody that might have a lot of guns? No.
And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
And if I do, I ain't telling nobody. It's nobody's business, man. But, so, I mean, obviously, every American should have a gun, you know. I mean, other than if you're wacko and you're going to go do stupid stuff, you know, obviously. You know, it's your Second Amendment right. So, you know, man, I ain't getting into all that, you know. I mean, if you are a law-abiding, you know, you should have a gun. It's actually in the Constitution to protect yourself from your government, and we could go off and on all that, too. I ain't going there, man.
There is a town in Idaho.
You can't live there if you don't have a gun.
Yes.
You have to own a gun, or you cannot live in Greenleaf, Idaho. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
But,
wasn't it the pastor that
they promoted it and passed it, man, and it says right in there when you pull into Greenleaf, man, that everybody is armed. I love it, dude. That's how it should be. Yeah. And you know what? Their rate of crime rate? Yeah. The little town, man, it's smaller than the one up the road here, man. Yeah. Or same size, you know. Probably 700 or 800 people. But something as far as firearms, you know, you get on all these crazes, man, and we've dealt in gold and silver. I would say more silver than gold, obviously. But, man, at one time we stockpiled. We had a lot of silver. It was really gung-ho on it, you know, and if the world, you know, because we went through our little, you know, phases of the world and stuff, you know, and being prepared and everything. Oh, you should collect silver and gold. Oh, horse crap, man. I'll tell you what, if it all flips upside down, man, the stuff, the guns, ammo, food, water, fuel, Coleman stoves, lanterns, oil lamps.
Camp trailers.
Dude, if it goes south, We're rich, man. That's why I collect all this crap, man. I don't need all that silver and gold.
I tell you, I'm not going to trade any of my stuff for gold or silver.
No way, especially if then all of a sudden there's no power or nothing like that, man. You want to give me a gold coin for my Coleman lantern up there and a gallon of fuel? Forget it. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Nothing wrong. I mean, we collect silver. I do have some silver and some gold on hand. You know that. Because
it's more of an investment for the not
right. Exactly. I'm just waiting for the prices to go up. Right, because prices are down right now, so I'll buy, especially silver, man. We buy a lot of silver stuff as prices, go move around and stuff like that. But which is one of my funny things when people ask me if I'm into trading or whatever. It's like I was telling them, gold guns or ammo. I think is the. I can't remember, man. I had a slogan, dude. I lost it, man. It was so good, too. That was back in the flea market days. All right, so then, and the best 3 firearms, in my opinion, that you can own for, for feeding yourself, for hunting, for protection, everything and I'll tell you the other reason, but the 3 is, first of all, number 1 gun to own is a 12-gauge shotgun. Number 2 would be a 22 rifle or pistol, and number 3 would be a 9mm. And the 9mm has just made it into my list in the recent years because there's just so many of them. And the reason I say, for one, the shotgun, I mean, you just can't, I don't give a crap what if it's, monster or invader or whatever it is. A 12-gauge shotgun to the face is going to slow them down at least, man. And if they keep coming after a whole face full of buckshot, man, and holy smokes, you're in trouble. So, but the reason I say those 3 too, on top of that, and I got slugs, man. I got I think 2 milk crates full of different slugs and buckshot for because you can hunt big game and deer and everything with them. But the other reason is, this is more of an Idaho and Northwest, Montana and Wyoming and all that. You go out, man, the world is upside down and everything, and people are dying off and there's abandoned rigs and all this crap. You go around and you get in that old redneck guy's or that old hillbilly guy's truck and you start digging around. I guarantee you go out there and dig around through anything but the new van. I guarantee you're going to find some 22 shells or some shotgun shells. Guaranteed. Yeah. And that's just, you go around anywhere in Idaho, man. And I said that in one video that we were going to do that. I was going to show that you could, one of these times when we're out, there's a bunch of abandoned cars. I'm going to show that you can go just, fill around and do that. I used to collect them when I was driving, hauling cars and the junk to the, we'd be hauling cars into the scrapper from the tow yard and stuff like that, man. I'd always be filling around, man. I'd bring home, remember I used to bring home jarfuls of 22 shells all the time. Yeah. So that's one of my other reasons on that. You got anything to say on that one, Miss Kitty?
No.
Oh, and then...
you bring home the food, I'll cook it.
All right. We were talking about having another place to go, something that we have and you should have with your kids or anybody that, your loved ones that you, my mom and grandma said, please just come get me, is what they told me. So I'd have to figure that one out and get them up here. Come on, you guys. But as far as the kids, if something happens in the world, we have a place that we are all going to meet up if we were separated. Right. At this point right now, it'd be pretty dang close, so we're not, we're all right here other than Kevin and Mackenzie. Mm-hmm. And Kevin and Mackenzie, we have a spot to meet up, to get them back to the homestead or wherever from there. So that's something you definitely want to have in your plans. This is end of the world. It's just, and it's not that we're like gung-ho and thinking something's crazy, but who the heck knows, man? You don't know what's going to happen from day to day, really. If you're self-reliant, do-it-yourself kind of person, the being prepared for anything just comes natural.
It does.
Yeah, and that's our thing. We don't, like I said, we don't go around. People have told that time that guy said, something about being fanatics. And I ain't a fanatic. And dude, look at the way you live. So I mean, some people look at us as fanatics, but as far as being a prepper or a you know, shit hits the fan guy that I'm going around, oh, the world's going to end, like, they're, you know, freaking out and just waiting for it. I sure the heck ain't waiting for it. I don't want that to happen.
No way.
You know, man, that'd really disrupt my life. You know,
and being self-reliant, I'm going to throw it in here because I think that's a good spot. Self-reliance isn't just about food.
No.
You know, I watch...
Or growing a garden.
Right. I watch self-reliant videos, and that's what they kind of concentrate on, but to me, self-reliance is not relying on large companies to bring me my goods, the government to help me out. I'm self-reliant because I don't want to rely on other people to make sure that I make it till tomorrow.
Right. Well, if all the trucks and all that stopped delivering to your grocery store or to the grocery stores, you know, the ones we go in the flatlands are up here, 4 days. And not only that, it would be, people would know, so it probably wouldn't even last that, but after 4 days, those things would be cleaned out. So that's why you want to keep your own, you know, and we do too, I mean, to a point. I mean, we have our supply here, and we try to, you know, catch, you know, keep the amount of fish that we can keep, you know, because obviously you got to watch legally things too, but, you know, the earth, living with the earth and supplying our food and our fish and our stuff like that, but we still are reliant to a point on that. Yes. And that's, you know, that's government, relying on the government, basically.
Well, there is a fine line there.
Right.
The point I'm trying to make is that we try to not rely.
Oh yeah, we don't. I mean, as far as the grocery stores is the only thing that we rely on.
Right. But we rely on the internet to make a living.
Yeah, exactly.
We rely on eBay to be up and going to make a living. But we put in the work.
Right.
We're not relying on somebody else keeping the business going so that we can stay employed.
Right. Or, I mean, just like with the, and I ain't going to get all political and stuff, but just like with the government shut down and everybody, you know, up in arms and their paychecks and the food stamps and all that, and it didn't affect us one little bit, you know. I mean, infected my cells a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was going to touch on the eBay thing is, you say yes, it would shut. You know, we are reliant on the internet for our business, but if it was, that stuff would go into our milk crates and into that van so fast, and we'd be out selling it on the side of the road that we wouldn't be relying on that anymore. Right. We've done that for, you know, been selling crap that way for 35 years. Yeah. Oh, this is actually, I just had another person do that. It's telling me,